Welcome to episode 3, guys. This is the Future Money Show. Today we have a great episode laid out for you guys. We talk a lot about Omicron. We talk a lot about Michael Jordan and his son creating an NFT platform called Air, as well as the NBA and WNBA getting into the NFT space with people like Steph Curry and KD. We talk about Peloton and some sexual assault allegations that are related to that company and its performance. We talk about all sorts of companies getting into the NFT space, and we end with some advice that we think could help everybody out. Without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy the episode. Thanks for listening.
This is the Future Money Show.
All right, welcome to episode 3 of the Future Money Show. We got some cool stuff to talk about. First, I thought we'd talk about COVID. COVID is back. Around me here in California, there are cases everywhere. In the last 7 days, it's up 64% in California, all the cases just in the last week. And yeah, there's a new mask mandate here too. I just don't know how people are going to react to the mask mandates now that they took them away and they brought them back. You know, it's kind of like just making everybody wear masks and then saying, oh, it's okay. And then everybody kind of gets used to life again, and then they bring back masks. I feel like people might not listen as well this time.
Of course not. Plus, it's the US. Like, don't get me wrong. I love it. That's home for me. I mean, like, I'm over in Europe right now, but the US is home for me. But, like, the US wants to be the best at everything, whether it's bad or good. That's just
Yeah,
how it is. And they love their freedom. So,
right.
yeah, it's kind of the Marion variant, like the singer. Of the
Yeah, like I feel like the first time around everybody was really scared, right? It was a new virus, it was a global pandemic. Everyone was The hospital rates were skyrocketing. Everyone was really scared, so people were more inclined to listen to wear a mask. But now that we've gone through the motions and this new variant is even like less deadly and it's more contagious and less deadly, and I'm just interested to see how people respond to this time around, see if people are as scared or as worried.
I mean, like we're 2 years into this pandemic now. I mean, for me personally, I have my questions. I'm not gonna get into like that. I don't care. Whatever side you're on, you're on. Like, I'm not here to argue that. But I mean, like, especially with this new variant, it seems more like it's symptoms of a common flu that you would get. So they're less severe, like you said, but it's more contagious. The craziest part, and it's funny that you said the US, is because did you see what the White House said?
No.
It said all unvaccinated people prepare to die. Literally, it's
What?
on their website.
Did it
Like,
really?
yeah, bro. Like, I'll send you the article. It's crazy. Actually, matter of fact, give me a second. Let me just read this real quick. This is what the White House says. So on whitehouse.gov, it says for unvaccinated, you're looking at a winter of severe illness and death for yourselves, your family, and hospitals you may overwhelm soon. That is fucking savage. Like, literally savage.
Yeah, that's like kind of scary. I feel like I don't understand. Like if you're vaccinated, you can still get it. I know like your maybe chance of hospitalization is less, which is great,
All right.
but you can still spread it and get it. Like how many people? I know so many people who are getting COVID right now, and like good percentage of them
Same,
are vaccinated.
same. The
Um,
thing is, like, all right, with this whole new variant, like, if you want to speak facts, it was spread by people that are vaccinated because the countries that the cases were imported into, you can't travel to unless you're vaccinated.
mhm.
So it's like us here, like over here in Europe, we've implemented so many regulations. Bro, I get tested every 3 days. Every 3 days in order for me to like go to the grocery store. I can't go to the grocery store unless I present my QR code to show that I have a negative test. You can't go to restaurants, you can't go to bars, that kind of stuff unless you're one vaccinated. I mean, that's the only thing you can do. You have to be vaccinated. And negative tests, like I said, you can't go anywhere for necessities purposes unless you have a negative test. So I mean, they're doing well with, I guess, with this system. But like you said, like you can still catch it whether you're vaccinated or not. And I mean, like that statement put out by the White House, I mean, that's kind of like fear mongering in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure how this time's gonna go around. I just know that COVID really is bad. I know that in Hawaii's being hit the hardest right now out of any of the states in the US. Just in the last week, they're up over 300% in their cases. And they have a spike in hospitalizations also, but I just know it's a lot less than the previous ones. Like I know in California, I think in the last week there's like a 10% increase or something, whereas
Yeah.
last time around when it was the novel version of the coronavirus, hospitalizations were going up like crazy every single day.
But it's winter though, isn't it? So I mean, it's flu season. It's around this time.
Right.
I guarantee you, around spring, like you'll see a major decline in everything going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like these illnesses are gonna drop.
Yeah,
Because like
everybody's getting colds right now.
No, exactly. But I mean, even like before before COVID became a thing, I remember, was it 2019 when I was home for Christmas? That was the sickest I've ever been. And it was a group of us, like Colin, me, Jeff, like a bunch of us all got sick and deathly sick. That's the sickest I've ever been. And I was like that for 2 weeks. And literally, I went home when I flew back home. I went to the doctor because I just kept getting sick after that. Like I couldn't shake it. And then she prescribed me whatever. I was fine. And I guess I went home towards the end of January, February. Towards the end of February, that's when it started to like ramp up. So then my doctor was like, we want to come back in and went and test you, but they didn't have the antibody test ready at that time because she's like, I think you had COVID. You were one of the first people to have COVID.
Mm.
And because like, I mean, cases started in California as well.
Right.
Like there were travelers through LA and stuff like that. So they were like, you most likely had it. And then obviously we just didn't know what it was at the time. But what she was explaining to me was that's the case for a lot of people. They have no idea, but obviously now the virus is mutated into whatever it is. The vaccines aren't stopping you from getting it. I mean, they're helping with the symptoms, obviously, but it's not making it that big of a difference now.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of crazy. I guess we'll see where it goes this time around.
Pfizer's making some serious money right now. I'll say that much.
Yeah, anyone owning Pfizer stock right about now is real happy. Pfizer's been the stock pick of the year, bro. I don't have much of it. I have some, but it's up what, like 50% this year or something like that. Like it's crazy.
Bro, I made an option call on Pfizer when I first heard that they were going to start doing the vaccines. And I mean, I don't need to say anymore after that. But
it's just gone up so much.
Yeah, trust me.
Yeah. Well, I think this would be a good place to shift into the world of the metaverse and NFTs as usual. Some really big news, some huge news. Michael Jordan and his son are getting into the Web3 game. They are releasing a platform, an NFT platform called Air, like HEIR, not like Air from Air Jordans. Their mission from their website is to define a new era of digital culture where innovators and their supporters are empowered and rewarded through Web3. So basically what they're doing is they're creating a software where different athletes like professional athletes can release digital merch or NFTs or whatever they kind of want to release, but they're going to be able to do it on this NFT platform. And it's pretty, I think it's a pretty big move. In their seed funding round, they raised 10.6 million. And, I'm sure in the next round, it's going to be a way bigger number than that. But they're launching in 2022 and they're going to start with, they said they're going to have tier 1 NBA and WNBA athletes on there first, which makes sense because it's Jordan.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think this is a huge move. I like what they're doing. And, if Jordan is able to capture some of the basketball culture like he did with his sneakers, in the Web3 world, then I mean this will be a multi-billion-dollar company in not long. What do you think?
Do you think they're gonna partner with Nike? I think they'll probably partner with Nike because seeing as Nike is going into the metaverse as well, it's gonna be hard for a lot of those players to venture out into this because they're signed to Nike or their respective like
Yeah.
thing. Because Adidas has entered into this world as well. I mean, they don't know what they're doing because I saw someone from Adidas say to reach out to Ethereum if you're having problems with the NFT. Like, it's not how it works. It's definitely not how it works.
Did they
So
really
they
say
still need
that?
to get up. Yes, bro. When Adidas released their NFT the other day or whatever, some guy from Adidas told the customer to reach out to Ethereum, and I was like, bro, that's not how it works. Like, definitely not how it works. But it's you brought up athletes with Michael Jordan's platform, and I think it was only about time because you have other athletes right now launching stuff like Kyle Kuzma and Swag AP, who are like very into the fashion world and up to date with obviously everything that's going on. They're launching their shoes into the metaverse in 2 days or tomorrow. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't I are they releasing it just through somebody? Like did they partner with some exchange or are they just releasing it on their
Uh,
own?
I haven't looked into it. I'm assuming it's probably through a third party because I don't think they do it themselves. But then, so me personally, I have my own like personal views on the NFT market as it is right now at this current state. I am bullish on NFTs long term, but right now, what NFTs are to me, it's a cash grab, and I'm 50-50 on it. But Steph Curry put out an NFT like yesterday, I think it was 2 days ago, right? To mint, or yesterday it was to mint, sorry. In celebration of him breaking the 3-point record. So him being the best 3-point shooter of all time, right?
Yeah.
So they put out 2,174 NFTs on FTX's platform, and you were able to mint up to 3. So I don't know what kind of utility is behind it. To be honest, I don't think there's any, but it's just the celebration and significance of his achievement. But because he's one of the most prominent figures in the NBA, like it's gonna sell and people are gonna get it, and then prices are gonna go up, and then you'll be able to make money off of it. But where Michael Jordan is taking it will definitely have utility behind it. And I was listening to someone the other day talk about NFTs in their current form is like comparing them to having skins on like Fortnite or Call of Duty or something like that. If you have a one of one skin, nobody can copy it. So people are gonna want to have it, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
that's what increases the value, but there's not really any like actual utility to it right now. But I think in the future that will change, especially if
Yeah.
you're in the metaverse.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think the utility is going to be, especially for these athletes, in the form of fashion, like it is right now. Like I know Steph Curry, his first NFT that he released was shoes.
Yeah.
He released about 3,000 or so of them. They cost $333 each,
Yeah.
and you could basically wear your Steph Curry's in 3 different metaverses. You could do it in Gala Games, Sandbox, or Decentraland, and you basically could wear them and in any of those metaverses, right? And there's only 3,000 of them.
I love Steph. I love Steph, but ain't nobody go wear your shoes to walk around in
I
the
mean, they
metaverse.
sold out. They sold out. $333.
No, of course, because it's new. But I guarantee you, if Michael Jordan is like, "Yo, I'm gonna drop some Jordan 11s or some Jordan 6s, and you can wear them in the metaverse." Those are gonna probably sell
Yeah,
for
those would be gone
easily a
instantly.
rack,
Yeah.
$1,000, $2,000 easily. If I could walk around in some Jordan 11s, like we talked about that last episode actually. Like my Jordan 4s that I have a pair of Jordan 4s that they're very nice and they're rare, but I don't wear them. I haven't worn them once. They're on my shelf. But if I could buy them in the metaverse and wear them around in the metaverse, I won't care because I'm not getting them scuffed in real life. The value is not
Right.
going to go down.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you go into Nike stores right now, it's like Yeezys and Jordans. That's like 90% of what's on the shelf. It's all Jordans. Like he absolutely just changed the game when it comes to like
Sure.
marketing these shoes.
Bro, they're collectibles. They're literally collectibles.
Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see if he can capture that kind of collectible like industry with his new platform. My question
Sure.
is, he's creating this at this as the same time as all these other NBA players, like we're talking about, like KD or Steph Curry, are
Yeah.
partnering with other companies. So he's basically just trying to create a company that all of those players signed to. Because I know like KD just signed with Coinbase, and he'll drop his NFTs and they'll do business through them. And is Michael Jordan just basically trying to take over that whole industry and get all these players to sign with him?
I mean, the thing is, it depends. How can I look at this? We were talking last episode about how Nike is probably trying to monopolize the NFT space when it comes to that aspect of things. So shoes, fashion, and stuff like that when it comes to athletes, right? KD is a Nike athlete. Jordan belongs to Nike. You know what I mean? So I think it is marketing solely right now. So for the individual athletes like KD, Jordan, and so on and so forth, but it's probably gonna come under the blanket of Nike. I mean, Steph is with Under Armour, so that's completely different. Like, I don't think they'll be able to sign that, but I don't think Nike is gonna want to be in competition with the athletes that they already have signed. You know what I mean?
Right. I wonder.
So I think it'll probably come in with some deal.
Yeah, there must be some deal that shows up later between Jordan and Nike if there already isn't one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where that goes if that platform takes off.
Well, even so, you would have to. I mean, like from Katie's perspective. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you would technically have to pay Nike because Kevin Durant being a Nike athlete, Katie brand's a Nike brand. He'll be showing Nike's like stuff all
Yeah.
over because I mean, like Katie's shoes, Katie's shirts, Katie's pants all have Nike emblems and Nike sponsored all over them. So it'd be kind of hard for Nike not to get their check as well. It just makes sense for you to work with your athlete and make a deal and be in partnership.
Yeah, that makes sense. Not only are like this is the sports world getting into the NFT space, but we can see all over just in businesses across the board are getting into the NFT space, even if it's just to dabble in it. Like
100%.
Melanie Trump was another one this week. She was releasing an NFT drop of basically like her eyes, like artwork of her eyes.
Yeah.
It's sold or it's gonna sell for a lot of money. Wikipedia, their first edit ever that they did on Web 2 when it first came out, or Web 1. It was Web 1 when it first came out. Their first edit sold for $750,000 as an NFT, and whoever owns that is going to get to edit it and do whatever they want. But all these different companies are getting into the NFT space one way or another. I think some, like Wikipedia, is just kind of a failure. You know, they don't really understand the space or how to get into it. And I think that's a lot of companies nowadays.
Yeah.
But going into the future, I think there's going to be so much money to be made in this world
100%.
that all these companies are going to have to figure it out. We're just so early that they just haven't figured it out yet. I think
100%.
I think one thing that's blown me away about the NFT space is the marketing aspect behind it. Because if you think about NFTs, they are everywhere on social media, right? Everybody knows about NFTs, or at least they're all over the news and social media. Now, if you think about how many people actually have exposure to NFTs, I think the wallets that it's less than it's between 300,000 and 400,000 wallets have an NFT in it. That's not that many compared to the millions of users out there.
For me, like you hit it on the head, bro. It's the marketing. It's insane. And I think it's just to bring as real as you possibly can to the markets, because you have so many people that have now forgotten about crypto because they're so focused on NFTs.
Hmm.
And sorry to tell these people, but you guys are gonna get left holding a bag, unfortunately, at some point when the utility does take play. Because I literally have people messaging me on a daily basis, like, oh, have you looked at this NFT? Have you looked at this NFT? Have you looked at this NFT? And like I tell them all the time, I was like, it's not really my interest. Like this is gonna be an unpopular opinion, but all the images of like all these NFTs, sorry, that are selling for 100,000, million, 500,000, 10 grand, 20 grand. You can own that same NFT if you right click on your mouse and click save image. Like you own the same NFT, like literally.
You can, yeah, it's like you can have the picture, even though you don't technically own it. It only matters if you actually own it, if there's some utility. Like if it's just a
But
picture, then if you can look at it on your screen, then that's like all it serves. But if there's some
but that's
utility
but
behind
that's
it,
no 100%. But majority of them that are selling at these crazy prices are literally just JPEGs.
right? There's
So
no utility.
it's just a pissing contest because it's like, oh, hey, look, I paid 750,000 for this NFT. Yeah, you paid 750,000 to be an idiot.
Yeah.
I'd rather
Yeah.
buy a house.
Hmm.
I'd rather buy a house.
I think one of the most, like, one sign that you're in a bubble is that people buy things simply because they think they're going up and not for any perceived value that they think it has, or some vision of the future they think is going to happen, or like they're not in, it's not an investment decisions per se in something they believe. It's more they buy because they think it's going to go up, and when that happens,
Exactly.
that's just a sign of a bubble when everything is going up like this.
For
um
For
yeah.
sure. And you're doing that based on opinions and what people are telling you online, the hopium. You're not even doing your own research to say this project's gonna do this project's gonna do that. Now, don't get me wrong. The NFTs are on a crazy wave right now. It's the next thing. The NFTs in metaverse are on this crazy wave, but the utility is not there yet. So that's what I'm trying to like get people to understand. I'm not against the innovation. I'm all for it. But you're talking about JPEGs. You're talking about pictures that you literally can save to your computer, and it's just because you want to pay thousands of dollars for the same image I can get for free. It doesn't make you any better than me or you. It's
Yeah.
just like you, I can take that money and I can put that into an actual asset that's going to make a difference and make me some serious money. And I can learn about the markets rather than just following a trend, and then you might get burned. That's the thing. Like a
Hmm.
lot of these guys that are on TikTok and on social media, like those guys are in these spaces way before these things even take off. So they're playing with house money, but they're attracting people like you and I. Say, oh yeah, I want to buy this because this person's talking about it. This person's talking about it, but they've already made their money. So the chances of you making your money is very little.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just it's complete speculation. But I like when you
Yeah.
say you believe in the long-term applications of it, because the utility for most of these NFTs are not there right now, but like the application and utilities that are possible with the technology is just endless. And that's why, I mean, everybody will say they're bullish long term on
Well,
NFTs, because
that's
they
the
just
thing.
see there's so many applications, whether it comes to tickets or collectibles or releasing merch online or just all sorts of different
No,
things.
100%. 100%. But see, you and I will look into it to a bit differently. I mean, to those viewers that are still getting or that are very new into the space, you guys should look into the networks that these NFTs are built on and see what these networks do, because then that'll give you a better indication as to what the plans might be for the future. Because like we've said previously, I believe that NFTs are going to be the way for a lot of things. Like you said, tickets, like that would be the case. I believe that your IDs will become NFTs, your passports, driver license, that kind of stuff will become NFTs. That's what I personally believe, because it's the direction that we're heading. Everything is becoming digital, but there's a lot of scams out at the moment as well. So you have to, it's a lot of gambling. You have to be careful with that. So just make sure to do research into the networks that these things are built on as well. And
Yeah, I like
the
that.
companies that are releasing these NFTs.
I like that. Like, for example, Air, Michael Jordan's new platform that he's made, is being built on Solana. So that's something,
Yeah.
a lot of cool projects are being built on Solana. So that might be something people look into if they want to get into the NFT space, rather than going and trying to pick a needle out of a haystack, in
No, for
JPEG
sure.
form, and try and pick the right NFT that's going to be worth more. Rather, just you should invest in the actual technology, which is Solana.
No, exactly. But see, a lot of people don't even know the difference between Solana and Ethereum. Like,
Right.
and people have noticed, like, a lot of these athletes and a lot of the prominent figures are now using Solana's network rather than using Ethereum, because it's more cost efficient, it's faster, it's a lot better in my opinion as well, and it's ISO compatible. So, but again, like, that stuff will go over people's head because they don't want to research it.
Right. So I guess our suggestion to anyone who wants to get into the NFT space and learn more would just be do research on what they're being built on, and where all of the development's happening, and invest in the underlying blockchain versus the actual NFTs.
So what's today, or at least have a healthy balance? What's today? December 22nd. So December 22nd, I'm gonna say watch out for the NFT being built on the Hedera Hashgraph platform. They're going to reinvent a lot of the space when it comes to cost efficiency, speed, and capabilities. Like, that's probably going to come quite soon.
Is that just because
just a gem that I'm dropping.
is that just because you think that Hedera is like a more efficient blockchain than some of the other ones?
It's a beast of a platform. Yes, it is very, very good. I think Solana. I misheard, not Solana. I think Hedera is going to be a top 10 coin in the near future. Near future, within, I'd say, when this utility run starts, then you'll see the real capabilities of it.
What is it that they do different? Is it just the speeds and transaction costs? I mean, that's usually when someone compares blockchains, they just say, it's faster and it's more
Also in
cost
carbon as
effective.
well. So they're also green. They're also a green currency as well. They don't emissions are very, very low versus gas fees with Ethereum and stuff like that. But then you also have, for example, on the 24th, you have the sologenic snapshot for the XRPL. So people think that XRP is just a payments coin, but there's a lot of things you can do on XRP's ledger. Now, for those that don't know about XRP, XRP is the most cost efficient crypto that you can ever purchase. And it is also one of the fastest cryptos, like for transaction speeds. But the transaction fees are the lowest that you'll ever find, maybe besides XLM, but they're neck and neck. So Sologenic is a decentralized exchange NFT marketplace as well. And now they're going to be on the XRPL, or they already are, I think.
Okay. Yeah, maybe I'll get some Hedera then. Maybe I need to pick some up.
Pick up a bag. Thank me later.
Well, I think it's a good segue. We can talk about Peloton. We talked a little bit about Peloton in previous episodes and the struggles they were having with their just the current events. So we talked about Sex in the City, their premiere happening, and another spoiler alert: Mr. Biggs, one of the characters there, dies on a Peloton. He has a heart attack, and Peloton stock tanked the next day. So they had to have a cardiologist come out and speak out against it, saying their bikes were safe. But we have an advancement in the story days later. Chris Noth is the actor who plays Mr. Biggs. So Peloton's response to this was to create an advertisement with the actor. And he's sitting on a couch and he's talking with this lady, and they're kind of flirting, hinting, at doing things later in the night. and it kind of zooms out, and there's two Peloton bikes there. And that's it was kind of a joke. It was supposed to be a funny advertisement or whatever. But as soon as that episode aired, there were multiple women who came out and said that they had been sexually assaulted by Chris Knopf, the actor. Now, when that happened, Peloton had to take the advertisement down, and they had huge backlash again, and the stock tanked again. So this company cannot catch a break. The actor is now being removed from the current show he's working on called The Equalizer, and just the stock is just getting killed. They are almost at their IPO price. They IPO'd back in 2019, and it was around like $26, and it's about $38 right now. Last time I checked, and last summer it was at 130. So it is just absolutely getting slaughtered. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It went up to nearing $200, and it's back down to about $39.
Yo.
So not a recommendation.
Big buy.
Do not buy, dude. This company does not know how to get anything right. They can't
big buy. That's tough.
Yeah, so I guess there's not too much to talk about other than just this company is just getting destroyed, and there's an update.
Did you ever hear of a crypto called Internet Computer?
Mm-mm.
So when ICP dropped, let's check the chart really quick. When ICP dropped, it was something like, I think all the way up to like $400, I want to say. And then it went down to like 20 something dollars.
Jeez.
People were buying it because they're like, oh, it's gonna go, it's gonna go, it's gonna go. Right now it's $23.
Still sitting there.
$23. Oh yes. So it did $450 in May, right? And then took a shit. And it went down to 20. It's at the lowest it's at right now.
Went from $450 to
$23. Yeah, bro.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people will look at some like coins or stocks like that where that have just tanked but had previous all-time highs and just blindly be like, oh, look, it went up there before, so I just buy it now and then it'll go back there. But that's not always the case, especially in crypto.
See, that's the thing. No, 100%. But see, that's the thing, because so how you do that is, all right. So like this chart, for example, it started off at 450. So that's where like the price started at. If you put it on the all chart, like all the way data that have run up and then they bottom out and then have another run up and then bottom back out, then you know you're somewhat safe. Like Ethereum, Bitcoin, all the coins kind of follow that path. Like they bottom out and find their bottoms, and then they trade sideways throughout the bear market, and then they have their rises. But you're right, a coin like this, I would not buy this. If I see this drop from 450 to 23 with no other price appreciation, you're talking June, July, August, September, November, December, and you don't see any price appreciation, really, no, good, you can keep it, because the chances of it might go back up when the bull run's going, but it's not going to go back to 450. I'm not going to buy it at 450 and say, okay, yeah, I think it's going to go to 1,000. Like it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. It's just another version of people need to really do their own research and not just buy things blindly or just because price has been there before. You really need to believe in what you're investing in. But I think this would be a good way to segue into sort of the economy right now. I think it'd be good to talk about just the economy it's coming to the end of the year. So we talked a little bit about inflation and prices last time. Well, reports came out saying that the inflation rate was 60% caused by a rise in gas prices. 60%. So basically all our inflation right now is coming from gas. Right now, gas where I live is over $5, or it's about $5 a gallon. In LA, it gets to $5.40 a gallon, and this is for the cheapest tier gas. And
Bro,
that I've never seen it this high prices in my whole life, which it is just insane. So it's gas and it's also rent. In some places, rent is up about 17%.
and tell me how that makes sense.
Yeah, it's
Tell me
up
how that makes sense.
17%.
I don't have any comment.
Yeah, so the prices are just skyrocketing like crazy, and inflation's really bad. So the Fed, they said they're going to come out and the next year they're going to increase the interest rate 3 times, which is a lot. They're going to do it 3 times to try and curb interest rates, or to curb inflation, slow it down a little bit.
They're just gonna make it worse.
Yeah, it could.
They're
I don't
just gonna
know.
make it worse.
We'll
But
see how that affects the market, but it's just something to keep in mind going into next year. These are all just things, information that we should all have just to make better investment decisions.
yeah, 100%. And the crazy part is, like, I know this year they were talking about like the whole gas shortage, and if I'm being completely honest, there's no gas shortage, not even a little bit.
Yeah.
You're talking like we're 2 years into a pandemic. Like there have been a lot of people that have not been on the road. There's been a lot of machinery that has not been in operation. So no, there's no gas shortage. There's a distribution shortage and a supply shortage, sure, but there's not a shortage in the actual like product itself.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine that the ridiculous gas prices right now aren't causing people to stay at home. They must be, like, or the family that was going to go on a road trip this summer is not going to go on the road trip anymore because gas is $2 too high, it's no longer affordable. But yeah.
What do you think? It's a push towards green energy.
I think it will probably help. I know in the Build Back Better plan there's a lot of subsidies going towards new EV company, like car companies.
Exactly.
I have a gut feeling that that's why Elon Musk came out and kind of spoke out against it. Like, he's already got the subsidies from the government, right? So
yeah,
Tesla's kind of winning the race already for the vehicle EV race, and in this new bill, there's subsidies for new companies. So it's because it's trying to incentivize. So he's probably like, no way, we don't want new companies.
No, for sure, because he wants to keep it to himself. But did you see what BMW and Audi and those guys are doing?
Mm-mm.
They're making, like, I mean, like BMW doesn't even make 8-cylinder cars anymore. They hybrid engines, all of them basically now from now on. Yeah. Lexus makes a bunch of hybrid cars and so on and so forth. Like, so my favorite car is the BMW M3, right? The E92. It's a from 2011 2012 version. That's my favorite car, just because I like the sound of the car, love the look of the car, yada yada yada, but that's irrelevant. It's built on a naturally aspirated V8, right? So it's a gas guzzler. It takes a lot of gas. It's like that Sequoia, for example. Like, it just takes a lot of gas.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so they switched to a more fuel efficient car, which was the inline six. And now it's just everything is hybrid now from now on. Like, they won't make the same kind of models anymore.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I feel like all the companies are all switching. It's pretty obvious to electric. It's more just a question of when it's going to be all electric, which I don't think is going to be very long. I don't know. Some of the, Tesla was the first car company that kind of made like a luxury electric car that went to market successfully. And there's some new electric car companies that are making some really interesting cars, even nicer cars than Teslas.
Actually, there is a car. It's called the Fisker. Look it up. I mean, they didn't do well. I'm surprised they're actually still around, but they were before Tesla. They just don't have the marketing of Tesla. But the thing about Tesla is Tesla's targeting, at first it was luxury because it was the first of its kind, but now Tesla's mass producing. So now they're just trying to get to everybody.
Right.
I mean, you buy a Model 3 for 30 grand. So it's like, that's the price of a regular car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
the Model Ts and stuff like that are expensive, but the Model 3 is very cost efficient and a very good car if you're talking about fuel economy. Well, I don't say no fuel, but like if you're talking about a car for the environment, car that's cheap, not too much expensive upkeep, then you just get a Model 3 and call it a day.
Yeah. Well, I think it would be a good
Or a Prius.
Yeah, or a Prius. I've got a
I'm not
hybrid
driving a Prius.
Toyota Camry.
I'll never drive a Prius. I'm okay. It's not gonna happen.
All right, moving into our last part of the episode, I thought it would be good if we shared our advice as usual. I'll go first. My advice is just going to be to people who are trying to learn and educate themselves about the crypto markets, especially who don't really know where to start and are kind of looking at different YouTubers or different stuff online, and they don't really know where to learn their information from. My advice would just be to start with some of the white papers of some of the bigger coins. Most people don't really read the white papers of, let's say, Ethereum or XRP or some of these coins. And I think reading those gives people a pretty detailed understanding of the project itself without, trying to learn it through someone who's read it themselves. So I think it's important that everybody does research themselves and personally and not just trust everybody. So I would say first, some of the coins that you're interested in, go read their white papers and see what you think about them. So yeah, that would be my advice for anyone trying to enter the crypto world. What about you?
I like that. I guess stemming off of what you said, my piece of advice would be like, don't rush in. There will always be opportunities no matter what. If you feel like you've missed something, there will always be another opportunity. And you'll be better equipped for that second opportunity if you miss one rather than running into one too late. There's a lot of opportunities in the space right now, and especially in this Web3 world, there is a lot of space, a lot of opportunity because we are extremely early. So if you feel like your asset isn't going anywhere, or you feel like you've missed out, you haven't. No matter what everything is saying or what kind of FUD is being thrown at you, you haven't missed out yet. So just patience is the biggest thing that I can say, especially because the market is starting to pick back up right now. I don't know if it's going to be sustainable. I still think that we have a little bit more of a downside left to go, but patience. That's the most important thing.
That's good advice. I think I needed to hear that.
and enjoy the holidays.
Enjoy the holidays. Be safe. Don't get Omicron.
Yeah, don't get a Marion period.
But thanks for watching, guys. This was episode 3. If you have any suggestions, questions, leave them down in the comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow on all our socials, and we'll see you next time.
Definitely. Peace out, guys.